Hello everybody, welcome back to Firefield Junction, and once again, as we can see, we've got another review for you today. I know I've probably been chucking these at you fairly recently, but might as well continue getting through them. As we can see, today's loco, we've got a Class 59 for today. Now, it's a railroad model, as we can see there, so I might as well mention that to start with. So we have got a railroad model for us today. I believe it has been quite a while since I've looked at a Hornby Railroad loco. So this should be quite nice, something different, a little bit different to what we've been used to recently with the super high quality locos. We've got something a little bit more down to earth, a bit more basic for us today. But hopefully it should still make for a nice review for us. So as we'll see, today's loco, it's 59003, and it's in the very nice GBRF livery. Obviously, this is the only Class 59 to carry this livery, so it's quite unique in that aspect, I suppose. And my one itself is also fairly unique as well. So I might as well mention this to start with. So obviously, being a railroad loco, you'd expect this model to be quite basic. However, my particular one, as it's a second-hand model, my particular one has been fitted with lights by the previous owner. So it's going to be a bit more high quality than what you'd usually expect a loco like this to be. So I thought I'd just mention that. So it's not going to be quite, it's not going to be exactly as it is, or as it would be if you were to buy this model. But apart from that, everything else is practically the same. The detail and the livery and everything is exactly the same. So it shouldn't affect the model too much. Obviously, the Class 59 in real life came into service in 1986, I believe. Only a small number of them were built. They didn't build an awful lot. I'm not quite sure exactly how many it was. Probably somewhere around 20, maybe up to 30 of them. I'm not too sure. But not a lot of them were built. But as far as I know, they are all still running. I could be wrong. There could be one or two that maybe are out of service for whatever reason somewhere. But as far as I know, all of them are still in service, or maybe most of them. But again, don't quote me on that. I could be wrong. Obviously, if you want to see these particular locos in real life, one of the best locations I recommend you go to is Westbury Railway Station. If you go to Westbury Railway Station, especially on a weekday, on the weekend you'd still be fine as well. If you go to Westbury Station on the right day, you'll get loads of these. You'll see quite a few of them in various liveries. I think the last time I went to Westbury during the day, I probably saw somewhere around 9 or 10 of them during the day, and which was quite nice. So yeah, somewhere around Westbury, the Westbury area, would be a very good location to go and see this if you wanted to. This particular one, 59003, again, it's the only one in this livery, so it's the only one that GBRF have. I believe it's Eastleigh based now. It used to be Westbury based, but I believe it is Eastleigh based now. I currently think it's being overhauled at the moment due to some previous events that caused it to end up getting a little bit damaged. But I believe it is being overhauled at the moment, so I don't believe it's in service at the moment, at least when I'm doing this review anyway. But I'm pretty sure you won't be able to see it at the moment. It's probably Eastleigh somewhere or elsewhere being overhauled, but I'm pretty sure this one isn't running at the moment. But obviously, probably depending when you're watching this review, it probably is back in service by now. But yeah, overall the Class 59, it's a very nice loco. I love the real things. I think they're so nice. They sound great. They look really good. Obviously the Class 66 came from these as well. So they're very nice locos, both in model form and in real life. But obviously, being a Hornby Railroad loco, obviously it's not the best in the world. Hopefully when Dapple's one comes out, obviously then we should have a much better quality one. But at the moment, we have to deal with these at the moment. Obviously there's nothing much too interesting on the box. If we just have a look at the end, we can see there the model code is R3760. It's a GBRF Coco Class 59. It's named Yeoman Highlander. Yes, this one is named, as you can see just there. And it's 59003. DCC ready as well, which is nice. She has been chipped as well. But she's just got a standard Hornby decoder in her temporarily. Eventually she'll get a sound decoder and everything, but at least I can run her on DCC for the moment. And then again, obviously she has got the lights fitted, but obviously if you were to get this model, you are most likely wouldn't have those lights. You just have these standard sort of moulded, painted lights that Hornby usually do on these sorts of locos. But apart from that, there's nothing else that interesting on the box, so we might as well open it and have a look at her. So the packaging, obviously it's not the best in the world. We are used to better quality packaging usually these days, but Hornby are still using this typical polystyrene style packaging for their railroad models, which isn't great, but I suppose it does the job. You would obviously usually get some accessories there. My one, despite it being secondhand, it did have a few accessories in there. It still had the accessories bag with some snow plows in. There was some spare coupling in there, and there was a few other bits in there, like the blanking plate was in there as well. You don't get any etched nameplates to go over the proper nameplates though on this model, which is a bit of a shame. Obviously on the newer Railroad models, the Railroad Plus models, you do get etched nameplates if the model comes with a name anyway. You get proper nameplates to go over the tampo printed ones. But unfortunately on this model, no you don't, unfortunately. But if we just take her out and put the packaging to one side, there's no instructions either. I don't think this one came with any instructions when I bought it, but obviously you would most likely have the instruction manual, which would obviously it would list the usual stuff such as lubrication, body removal, where to fit the chip, all the usual stuff that we're used to. But as we can see, despite it being a railroad model, it's not too bad. The person who fitted the lights, they probably could have done a slightly better job. They don't look incredibly good. Although once the model was running, they do look a little bit better. But yeah, the holes haven't been drilled in the best of lights, but the lights still look okay when she's running. And yeah, the glazing is probably something I need to sort out at some point. It's quite messed up. So that's probably something I'll try and do at some point, is try and clean off the glazing a bit. So I think I'll have to take it out though. But there is a driver in there, but that's been done by the previous owner as well. And I think some of this cab details, such as the painted seat there, I think that's been done by the previous owner as well. But apart from that, obviously that sort of stuff that the previous owner has done, if you overlook all of that and look at it, obviously if you're familiar with these models, as it is, it's not too bad. The detail is okay. We have got some separately fitted parts, I think, on the bogies, which is quite nice. The mechanism it's okay, but it's not the greatest, because you do have traction tyres on this loco, unfortunately. You can see there's a traction tyre there, and there's also one there as well. Apologies for the background noise with the dogs and everything. They just won't shut up, but we'll try and look past that. We have got NEM couplings though, and there is a KD coupler on this end, which obviously that wouldn't come if you were to buy this loco. You would have either no coupling, or there would be a standard tension lock coupling there. But my one luckily came with a KD, which is fine for me, as that's what I typically use on my freight locos to haul the stock. There's no sprung buffers, and they're plastic fixed things as well, so they don't look incredibly good. But if you wanted to, you could paint them, you could weather them, you can make them look better if you wanted to. The motor inside this model, it is just a 3-pole motor, I believe, so yeah, that's not too good, but it's not a bad motor at all. It performs quite well if you use a decent quality decoder, which I obviously haven't got in this loco at the moment. But with a decent quality DCC decoder, it is a very good motor. On DC, it's very good as well. It's very smooth. It's not entirely silent, but it does perform very, very well. It is a very good motor, despite it being a 3-pole motor. Obviously, you have only got 2 driven axles as well, though, so pulling power isn't the greatest. But you have got all of the wheels do have pickups going to them, I believe, which is very, very good. And she's not too light, actually. There is quite a decent amount of weight to this loco. I'm not exactly sure how much it weighs. That's probably something I could start doing in the future, is actually weighing the models to get an accurate weight from them. But judging from how heavy she feels in my hand, she's not too bad. There's quite a bit of weight to her, which is nice. It's nice that she's not really light, because obviously being a heavy freight loco, you want a loco like this to haul lots, but she doesn't really, even despite having quite a decent amount of weight. The lack of driven axles does decrease the pulling power quite a bit. If you want these locos to haul a decent rake of wagons, you're going to want to double head them really to get them to haul a decent length train, because by themselves you're not really going to get them hauling a decent rake of wagons, unfortunately. But if we overlook that, it's not too bad. Obviously, it is a railroad loco. it's more for the youngsters, it's more for kids really, or obviously it's also for people who can't afford the high detailed models. But I think what a lot of people do with these railroad models, and it's something that I try to do as well, or at least I will do in the future with some of them once I develop my skills a bit better. But obviously with models like this, you want to improve them. You buy them, you weather them, you add lights like this person has done, you add extra details such as adding a driver, painting the cab. If you wanted to, you could go a bit more serious. You could rip out the old mechanism. You could, if you wanted to, try and fit a centrally mounted motor. You could try and make it all-wheel drive. Obviously, you wouldn't want to do that to something that's more that's very expensive. Obviously, you wouldn't want to ruin a dead expensive model. Obviously, with a model like this, which isn't worth an awful lot, I mean, these Hornby Railroad 59s, you can get them for anywhere from as low as under £50 or about £50. Obviously, you can get them going above sort of £90. Obviously for the newer ones, but overall that's not too bad. Obviously, considering the prices of other models these days, that's not overly terrible. Obviously, I still think it's too much for what these models are, but at least they're not that expensive. So obviously, again, you wouldn't want to buy a dead expensive model to improve really, and end up bodging it up and ruining it, because that would just be that would just be horrible really. But obviously, with something like this that's quite cheap, you wouldn't mind too much obviously hacking at it and doing work to it really, would you? But overall, it's not a bad model at all. Obviously, the livery application as well it's not too bad. Obviously, underframe detail is quite basic, but at least we have got some more depth to the roof. It's not one gigantic molded piece. It's two molded pieces really, but overall, it's not too bad. The Hornby Class 59, depending on what livery you get, they're not bad models at all. They look great. They're very, very good quality, and they do run very, very well. So let's put her on the track and see how she runs. Okay, so if we just grab the loco and put her on, there we go. There we go. Obviously, we're very, very used to seeing locos being put on here. We're very used to seeing this structured track and everything by now. So if we just move her back slightly, so we can see the front a bit better. There we go. Just check all of her wheels are definitely on. Yes, they are. So obviously my one has got lights. Obviously, if you were to buy this loco, you most likely would have the standard loco without the lights. So obviously, again, my one was bought second hand, so it has been modified by a previous owner. So my one is slightly better than what yours is probably going to be, but obviously we can overlook that. So if we just put the lights on, there we go. They're not too bad. Change direction. Yeah, the lights aren't too bad. They are quite bright. I'm pretty sure that Class 59 lights aren't usually this bright, but you never know. They could just be brighter on this particular loco in real life. I'm not too sure because I haven't actually seen 59003 for a very long time. But if we just give her a bit of a wiggle, we'll see what she's like. So yeah, obviously with this standard Hornby decoder, her performance isn't that great. Obviously very, very jerky at low speed. But hopefully once she's got a better decoder in her, whenever I get around to doing that, hopefully she should then run a lot better. But as she is, she's okay. She's not too bad. If we overlook the fact if we overlook the dodgy decoder, we can thank Hornby for that. She's not too bad. The performance is okay. Obviously, once she's up to some speed, I need to stop losing my words or muddling my words. Anyway, yeah. If we overlook the bad decoder, she's not too bad. Again, once she's up to some speed and she's running at a high velocity, let's say, she's not too bad. She is very, very, very good. But obviously, I'm not going to run her by herself as I usually do. I usually run freight locos with some wagons. Just adds a bit of interest, I suppose, to the video. So what I've done is I've stuck my rake of 7 Dapol Network Rail IOA wagons on the layout. So if we just couple them up to the loco, it would help if I could get the couplings to line up, which they don't really want to. I think it might be the wagon's coupling that's not behaving. There we go. So there we go, all coupled up. So let's get her running and let's see what her performance is like, and let's see if she can handle this train. She's never actually hauled these before, so I don't actually know if she'll be able to handle them. And some of them I have glued my own permanent ballast loads in, so they are a bit heavier than what they usually are, or some of them anyway. But hopefully she'll be able to handle it. If she can't, then that's just not really acceptable. But yeah, we'll carry on. Let's carry on and let's see if she can handle them. And as we can see, not even breaking a sweat. Well, overall, I think we can say that she's one fantastic loco. Obviously, yes, she is quite basic, and she's not as good as other locos that you can buy. But if we overlook that, she is one fantastic model. I can't fault her really. Obviously, I suppose yes, it would be nice if she was better detailed and she had a better mechanism. But overall, she's great. The Hornby Class 59s, they are fantastic, and it really doesn't take much to make them make them look like one fantastic loco. Yeah, overall, she's great. I can't recommend them enough. They are fantastic models.